If you want to keep your kids busy this summer in a positive way, you can help them fall in love with reading. You really can. It can happen. This week, the magazine The Week Junior is kicking off its Summer of Reading program with the 50 books kids love most. Executive editor Mindy Walker is here with some recommendations. Mindy, so great to have you here.
Thank you.
First, if your kid is not already an eager reader, what do you do to kickstart things?
Well, I think there's a few things parents can do, and one of them is just expand your idea of what reading is. So, comic books count, graphic novels count, even audiobooks. Anything where they're kind of falling into a story is going to make it is reading. You can also make kind of the ordinary special. So at bedtime, summertime, they can stay up a little later if they read. And so maybe buy a little flashlight. They can read in bed under the covers, make it fun. You could do a reading fort in your living room that you keep out where you can both read together, or even in your backyard, set up a little fort for reading. So
I think you're right. Reading together, especially modeling, showing that parents like to read and kids like to be like their parents up until a certain age, I do think. You have some choices for books that people can use to try to encourage their kids to read. One of them is Redwall.
Yes, so Redwall, so this is, all of our books were selected by kids. So we collected votes from kids across the country, and I'm so glad that the kids chose this one because it's a classic fantasy from the 1980s.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it actually has 22 books in the series. And what's great about that for parents is if your child likes the first one, then they may like the next one. And so that means it solves that problem of what should we read next. So, and this is about a little mouse who's trying to protect his kingdom from a one-eyed evil rat. It's very low-tech fantasy because it's no computers and gadgets. It was written in the 80s. It's more about medieval feasts and talking animals.
Okay, so graphic novels count, short stories count too. On the graphic novel front, you've got Swim Team, and then for short stories, The Ice Cream Machine. Can you talk about those?
Yeah, you bet. So Swim Team is a graphic novel about Bree. She moves to Florida with her family, and she joins the swim team, even though she doesn't know how to swim. And so even though it's, the graphic novels are great because it's got a lot of pictures to pull kids in, but this story has a lot of realistic fiction. She has to be brave and persevere to try to get through, being on this swim team. And so yeah, for that. And then Ice Cream Machine, that's short stories. And a lot of people think, oh, short stories for kids. But what's great about short stories is it's kind of like instead of sitting down to read one chapter, you can actually read a whole story. And this one is full of silly humor. This is for all those kids who love silly humor. Every every story is titled The Ice Cream Machine, but with different stories. So you've got an evil ice cream driver, alien robots, you've got a penguin running an ice cream stand. So it's definitely going to appeal to a lot of kids.
It makes me think of the ice cream truck. When I was little, it was the best sound ever when the music would come. And now when I have little kids, I'm I hear the music and I'm like, no!
Run!
Run! Exactly. So you have a lot of fiction picks, but something that's more realistic with a book called The Fort.
Yes, so The Fort is by Gordon Corman. Believe it or not, it's his 100th book that he's written for kids. He's written more since then. This is about a group of 8th grade boys. A hurricane comes through their town and they find this bomb shelter, and it becomes a place where they can go and get away from all their problems. And they have to actually band together to help one of the kids who's having a really big problem at home. So a lot of great realistic fiction for kids.
On the nonfiction front for kids, History Smashers of the Titanic.
Yeah, so this is another series. You can find a lot of different topics, but kids wrote in about the Titanic. Kids love the Titanic right now. It's always popular. This is written by Kate Messner, who actually writes a lot of great fiction too. For kids who love fun facts, this has a lot of sidebars. It has illustrations, photos, boxes, so it's not just running text. So it gives a lot of entry points for a child to hop in and out of, and then, test their parents at dinner time about the facts they learned.
And for all these books, we're talking about kids ages 5 to teens.
Probably closer more to 7 to 14.
Okay.
So upper elementary, middle school. But we had other books there's series Diary of a Wimpy Kid is great for younger kids.
I want to get Swim Team and read that to my daughter because we can follow along. And work on her swimming.
One of our other tips we often say is if on vacation, if you're going to be out with if you're seeing relatives, you can all get the same book.
Oh, that's
and
cute.
the cousins could read it together
That's a great idea.
and have a little
Mindy
fun.
Walker, full of all the great ideas. Thank you so much for being here.